Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone. Sorry we're a couple minutes late. Some technical difficulties on our end. Computer's not wanting to work with us. And happy first week of September. Hard to believe that we are in the first week of September and that the NFL season is now officially upon us.
It is, but you can tell how big of NFL fans we are since we're both wearing our K-State today.
Yes. Well, hopefully everyone had a nice Labor Day weekend last week, and we're pretty cool here, and actually only not even hitting 70 today.
Yeah, so it felt like fall this morning.
Yep, we're thankful for that. So just to go, thank you everyone for joining and watching later on. I just want to go over a few deals, some new ones this week. YouTube TV is offering $33 off a month for the first 2 months, making it $50 a month. This deal is for new subscribers and reportedly for current subscribers. If you go in your settings page, the offer ends at the end of this month, and they also currently have a 21-day free trial. Fubo is still offering $30 off your first month on all plans. DirecTV, $35 to $45 off a month for their signature plans. My Sports is $10 off the first 2 months. My Entertainment, Mi Espanol, is $5 off the first 2 months, and Paramount Plus announced a pretty good deal this week. I believe it was Wednesday. It is good through the 18th, so just shy of 2 weeks. It's $50 off annual plans, making them $30 or $60 for the year, depending on if you go ad or non-ad supported. And they've not been offering deals like that for the last year or so. It's usually like 2 months discounted or something like that. So that's a pretty good offer, especially if you want it for the football season or want to catch up on some of their original content. And yes, we did, by the skin of our teeth, got in the win column last week against North Dakota. We get Army tomorrow, so tomorrow night. So hopefully we come out a little bit better than we did last week.
Looking forward to that game. They have a lot of fun stuff planned and flyovers, and so even if the game doesn't go well, we have all that other stuff to enjoy too.
Yeah, well, hopefully it goes well.
I agree. Well, speaking of Paramount Plus, let's get into our first story, which is about Walmart Plus. It just made me think of Paramount Plus because for a long time Walmart Plus has offered a subscription to Paramount Plus as a benefit of that membership, and they now have added Peacock to their list of free options. So we know that streaming aggregation has long been a goal among companies. They want to keep consumers within their respective ecosystems, seeing that with the Disney bundle, moving Hulu and ESPN all there. Well, Prime Video is a leading aggregator in the space. They have numerous, as you know if you use it, platforms available that you can sign up for, all within Prime, which keeps your billing in one place, which is something people want. Well, on Monday of this week, Walmart made it clear that it is trying to challenge Prime Video through its Walmart Plus subscription service. So it announced that in celebration of its 5th anniversary, it's adding Peacock Premium to its offerings for Walmart Plus subscribers. So Walmart Plus subscribers have been able to get Paramount Plus Essential for free for the past 3 years, but now they can also get Peacock Premium. Now, to be clear, subscribers will not get both services. Instead, they'll be able to choose between the two. Either one is free to Walmart Plus subscribers effective Monday, September 15th. So members can even switch between the services every 90 days if they choose, and they can also upgrade to their respective ad-free plans for either service as well. And Senior Vice President of Walmart Plus said that adding Peacock Premium brings more value, more choice without raising the price, being able to switch between the services. They say they're empowering their members to customize their entertainment experience. Sounds like a lot of brand speak. But despite that, we do like the add-on without a price hike. Walmart Plus is currently $98 a year versus Prime Video, which is at $139. And
a Prime subscription.
Sorry, Prime subscription, thank you. But you get Prime Video with that. But it's just telling to see that Peacock entered into this agreement, especially after going to Prime Video last week. It's clear that the company wants to expand the avenues that you can use to get Peacock, which it really has not done up until this point. And Paramount Plus, for its part, announced that it was extending its agreement with Walmart Plus to include the service as a complimentary add-on to Walmart Plus subscribers. So ultimately, neither Peacock or Paramount Plus are widely popular services, but we like to see this addition of Peacock here. The only real complaint that we could find in it is that it would be nice if people could switch more frequently than once every 90 days.
Yeah, like every 30 days or something like that. It's still free, so especially them offering it without a price hike is nice to see. Question, do we have Walmart Plus? We don't. I try to avoid Walmart like the plague, but it is $40 cheaper than Amazon, which if you don't care and you want to take advantage of those benefits, definitely worth trying. I would think it'll be interesting to see how Walmart Plus continues to push into the space, because it was clear that they're wanting to begin to compete more against Prime Video. I think they have a ways to go, but obviously they want to do this.
It's actually kind of interesting to think about how Amazon started on the tech side and moved its way into grocery a bit with its buying Whole Foods. Walmart obviously started on the retail grocery side and now trying to move into tech. It'd be interesting to see in the end who's more successful, or if they can just both be out there, giants slugging it out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, next story is something we've spoken about a number of times recently, and that is if the prospect of YouTube TV offering a sports skinny bundle. And the streaming world is one of transition, and we have seen in recent months a huge move towards skinny bundles. I don't know that I would necessarily call them skinny, but that's what they're calling them. DirecTV was the first to market with its genre packs. Fubo, as we discussed last week, rolled out their sports skinny bundle, and Sling has its day, weekend, and week-long passes, as well as Sling Select. Not to mention ESPN Unlimited and Fox One. In the last few weeks, we've been discussing the probability of YouTube TV offering some kind of skinny bundle and the need for that, given how expensive it is. Late last Friday, Awful Announcing reported insights from John Orend over at Puck News that YouTube TV might be considering a sports skinny bundle. This would obviously be of interest, given how platforms have moved to launching skinny bundles, and YouTube TV is an unquestioned leader in the live streaming space. And interestingly, a lot of this hinges reportedly on their carriage issue that they had with Fox. They came to that 11th hour agreement after agreeing to an extension. And so, per Awful Announcing, YouTube TV has discussed launching a broadcast and sports tier, which would give customers access to broadcast and sports-focused channels. That sounds great. Would love to see something like that. But it has some hitches, and one we likely will see as a result of the Fox agreement with YouTube TV. Per Awful Announcing, quote, in addition to there already being debate about what networks would be included in the tier, Orrin noted that those media companies would presumably also push for their non-sports cable channels to be a part of the package, which could increase its price while lessening its appeal. What does this mean in the instance of Fox? Reportedly, Fox knew that YouTube TV was looking this way and effectively demanded that all of their channels be included in a potential YouTube TV skinny bundle. So not only FS1 and FS2 and Big Ten Network, but also Fox News, Business, Weather, all their other channels. And making matters worse, YouTube TV has carriage agreements ending this year with Disney and NBC Universal, both of which likely, especially I would argue Disney, would want some kind of inclusion And the two respective companies could push for that. And the result, it could drive prices further higher, making it not that less expensive than YouTube TV is as a whole. Fox knows what it has, and it's particularly important during this time of the calendar since football season has begun. Disney and NBC Universal also have NFL games, which will make agreements interesting to work out. Also, Perofel announcing, quote, adding another layer to all of this, however, is that each network now has its own streaming service, making it easier for customers to stick with distributors during disputes while adding the channels in question a la carte in the event they go dark, unquote. So this is intriguing to see. With networks still having power, platforms and media companies continue to have issues with each other. Companies like Fox and Disney want all of their channels included, which drives up cost. And that's not to say platforms are innocent in and of themselves. And time will tell how this will play out. But if this proposed skinny bundle is only like $10, $15 cheaper, yes, it's saving, but if you're getting 2/3, or 3/4 of what you already get, what's the point? And yes, there have always been rumors about Paramount and Peacock merging, and Space Ghost mentioned that YouTube added on some channels. Yes, that's like we discussed last week with the Fox agreement. Price hike is commonly in the offing afterwards. Given YouTube TV's continual reductions in pricing to keep people, I think it's somewhat telling that they're seeing the reaction to this $83 a month and likely plus taxes. And good question from Nancy. Do you think there's any risk to prepaying for a year of Paramount Plus Premium at $60? Not if there's enough content for you to watch. So for example, for us, we're likely going to get the $30 a month one. There is enough content that we will be coming back to binge that we would have at least 3 months that we would have the service. So there's really no risk there. If there's not enough, and if it's only a few things that you watch, then you might just want to forego the offer and save money in the long run. Yeah. Yes, and NFL, so I've not looked yet about the NFL Plus add-on. It was supposed to hit yesterday or Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's interesting to see. So, hopefully it does get added.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to our next story, which I know John was mentioning Sling at one point. Next is just an update on Sling and Disney. So last week we talked about the issues between them, the fact that Disney sued Sling over its passes, and as a refresher, passes by Sling is the reason for the lawsuit, and if you don't already know, it lets you sign up for a day for $4.99, a weekend for $9.99, or a week for $14.99. Passes are only available for Sling Orange, which is the package that includes ESPN and ESPN2. Last Tuesday came out that Disney is not happy about this. It sued Dish and asked Dish to pull the passes, and Dish said no. Well, Sling came out swinging this week on Tuesday with its official response in the form of a press release, and in this press release, I've got it on screen there. Seth Van Sickle, Senior Vice President, said, "This is the deal ESPN and Disney don't want you to know about. They're charging $30 a month for games people used to get without paying more. Sling isn't playing that game. We're giving subscribers what they want. Access to TV for the entire day, $5, 0 strings." So this press release does not mention Disney beyond the one time, but the rest of it is clear. They're putting themselves, that being Dish, is aligning themselves with consumers, and saying that Disney is the one doing the price gouging. Further in their press release, they went on to say that they have a long track record of fighting for customers by introducing ad skipping technology. say they were there first to offer live streaming TV with Sling, that they led the charge to bring local channels to satellite TV, and have always negotiated with programmers to keep consumer costs as low as possible. They went on to say that the passes have gained traction and popularity, but they did not provide any concrete data to back that up. Given that the passes have only been available the last few weeks, we don't see how they really could provide data quite yet. So likely at issue here is the fees that Disney charges to carry channels like ESPN. It is becoming increasingly expensive for platforms to carry those channels, and they are calculated on a 30-day window. So the passes obviously get around that. And as Disney says, Dish didn't ask if they could sell that kind of offering that includes ESPN. So the tone taken by Dish here is not conciliatory. It's likely just going to upset Disney more. But at least now, unfortunately, seems like this fight is not going to end anytime soon. Just to repeat our thoughts from last week on this issue, we get why Disney isn't happy with the passes, particularly since they align with the launch of ESPN Unlimited. They're going to argue that the move by Dish competitively goes right at that. However, what we will say is we don't like this move by Disney. It's arguable that they have enough money and they're just trying to restrict access to what they know is the channel many people want right now with the football season starting. And that's also not to mention it's not very consumer friendly.
Yeah, it'll really be interesting to see how this plays out, because Sling came out swinging, as Nicole said, and Disney has the content, so neither one's blinking. So it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out in the near future. Hopefully, some kind of agreement can come to place that will allow Sling to continue to offer these day passes. So overall, we think they're a good thing.
My guess is that the price will go up by $1, $2, and $7 respectively.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
More than
that, I think. Anyway, moving on to something else that consumers aren't happy about, was announced this week that ads are going to be in NFL RedZone. So this Sunday is the first Sunday in the NFL season, and you may use, if you're a big NFL fan, you may use RedZone to get every TD and critical play. And you may be well accustomed to Scott Hansen saying his popular tagline, 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. Well, as he warned on Wednesday, there is going to be a slight tweak to that, saying 7 hours of RedZone football starts now. It was announced on Wednesday that full commercials are going to be a thing for this season and going forward, and this has been blowing up all over social media. This move isn't out of nowhere, and it's been expected for some time. RedZone tested ads with a split screen overlay during week 15 of last season, and viewers understandably did not like it, especially since it's been commercial free since its launch back in 2009. Now, there's been a lot of reporting on this and going back and forth, and the ads won't be split screen overlay that we saw at the end of last season either. Per Richard Deitch of The Athletic, the NFL clarified what the ads will look like. They will be double box ads and supposedly only 15 seconds in length and roughly up to 2 minutes of ads. Viewers will hear the audio of the ads, but the other box will show NFL RedZone. Hansen broke the news on Pat McAfee's show on Wednesday, and what I found amusing was Pat McAfee said, well, viewers don't mind ads. They don't, because they're getting all this football. I highly disagree, and it's also interesting given that ESPN will supposedly be taking over. Assuming the agreement is finalized. He says Hansen says the business folks will handle the business, and I have no say over different elements that could or could not be in the show. We're not going to sacrifice any great football for any of the business side of it. The business folks are going to handle the business, and we play the hand that's dealt to us. But we will not miss a touchdown. We will not say, oh, okay, this is 1st and goal from the 5, but let's sell you some pizza or pickup trucks. In short, Hansen promises that it will not miss a touchdown. Fans are understandably, again, very irritated about this, to say the least. Social media has been going nuts since Wednesday. People are calling for petitions to get signatures to get the NFL to reverse its decision. Then you have people upset at ESPN because this is conveniently announced very shortly after the deal between Disney and NFL. And Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, who also used to work for ESPN, claims that it's the NFL who made the decision and nothing to do with ESPN. Suffice it to say, it's more than understandable that fans aren't happy with the decision, regardless of who is to blame. We all know what the decision comes down to: money for the NFL and arguably ESPN in the long run, to make more money, and they're going to do whatever is in their best self-interest. So it'll be interesting to see if it really does stick to the 1 to 2 minutes they're claiming. Hopefully it is, but I would not hold my breath.
Yeah, and ESPN doesn't own this yet, so it is possible that the NFL is the one that made the decision, and maybe they're greasing the skids a little for ESPN so that next year, if the deal goes through, it's kind of like, well, it's already in place and people are just going to deal with it.
Yeah. And Mandy brings up a good point about being unsure if she'll keep Peacock when it runs out in November, especially since it lost Hallmark. If you're not watching it, it's not worth that price. Hopefully, they will keep it to the $20 for the Black Friday deal, but given their recent price hike, it wouldn't surprise me that if they do offer it, that it would be, say, $24.99 or $29.99.
Yeah. And we have it on that deal, and I feel like we watch it pretty regularly, but we're watching old comedy series as a family, so it's not really, I don't think we really find ourselves going there for their original content or anything.
Never do.
Which is a problem for the platform.
Yeah. And if it's going to raise prices, like I think you're right, they will, that's going to be a hard pill for people to swallow if you're not giving anything new for that. For sure. And with Paramount Plus not having matched yet in the price hike, coming out with $30 for the ad-supported, it wouldn't surprise me to see Peacock see that and go at least to 25, if not 30. And unfortunately, there's no good deals for Hulu by itself. Black Friday is typically the best offering for them. So next news, and we've actually got two stories about Warner Brothers. One that's pretty interesting. Actually, both are fairly interesting. And that is whether or not part of Warner Brothers could be up for sale. And so the linear networks like Versant from NBC Universal splitting off. We're going to be seeing the same thing with Warner Brothers Discovery. It's expected to spin off Discovery Global in they're saying Q2 of next year, so the next 6 to 9 months. Discovery Global will have much of the linear footprint, so CNN, TNT Sports, Discovery, Bleacher Report, and more, along with nearly $36 billion in debt from the company. Warner Brothers will have the studio and streaming business, gaming, retail, and the like. Well, another interesting twist came out this week, is that at a Bank of America Securities conference call with Gunnar Wiedenfeld, CFO of Warner Brothers Discovery and the designated CEO of Discovery Global, said that the powers that be at Discovery Global has suitors that are looking to buy its 20% of the spun-off Warner Brothers. When asked if the sale could take place before finalization of the breakup, Wiedenfeld said, quote, "We could, but it's a trade-off because we want to get full value for it. It's a huge building block in this whole transaction to get an equity injection at the right valuation," unquote. The company obviously wants to pare down its significant debt that it will be carrying, and a sale could help them do that. According to Deadline, they have a year to execute a sale without taking a tax hit. which would be beneficial for them to avoid. And as to who they've had discussions with, he was less than clear, saying we have had some interest in some discussions earlier than that, and technically we would be able to monetize part of it, all of it, whatever, before we even close the transaction. There's nothing specific here yet, but definitely something that I'm going to be a lot more focused on over the next few months. Now, why would someone only buy 20% versus just going outright and buying Warner Brothers? It's likely to limit losses as a whole, reduce risk, and not to expose them entirely to streaming. And regardless, this is sort of an interesting twist, especially given how Warner Brothers Discovery has just gone about their business over the last few years since merging. And, does it mean someone could try and partner up with Warner Brothers? It's possible. It's anyone's guess right now. Space Ghost, yes, that's a good comment. Starting to resemble a Chinese fire drill. So right now it's speculation, since he was being fairly coy about it, but just thought it was interesting, especially given the next news we want to discuss. So Nicole's gonna.
Yeah, so next story also is about TNT sports streaming service. We talked about this several weeks ago, and it looks like it's actually going...
One other question.
Yeah,
sorry.
sure.
Paul has a question. If you choose Peacock and Walmart Plus, is there a no ads add-on option? That has not been reported yet, but given that given that Paramount Plus offers that via Walmart Plus, I would assume I would think that Peacock would offer that as well.
I thought we had seen that you could pay for that add-on if you wanted to. The upgrade for the ad-free for both of them.
Well, for Paramount Plus, yes. For Peacock, I hadn't seen anything, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Keep your eyes open.
Yes.
So, okay.
Sorry,
back to TNT. That's okay. Back to TNT. It does look like we are going to see a standalone TNT sports streaming service come to market in the near future. The Wrap is reporting this based on comments Wednesday from Gunnar Wiedenfels on an investor conference call. Wiedenfels said, quote, "We're working on creating our own TNT sports app, which is going to be available as a streaming product, but importantly, also as a bundle option. Internally with Discovery Plus, or not so internally anymore with HBO Max, but we are also open to other partners in the industry." And he also confirmed that it looks like the Bleacher Report sports add-on could be leaving HBO Max at spinoff, saying, quote, "Sports are a core part of the company's strategy post-split, as all sports viewing opportunities are moving off of HBO Max," end quote. So no indication was given by Wiedenfels if HBO Max subscribers will get any sort of bundling discount to get the sports streaming service, and he was pretty non-committal about whether or not Discovery Global would pursue any other sports rights to add to its portfolio. He only noted that it would consider it if, quote, "something special comes along," end quote. And sounds like, that would depend on it fitting within Discovery's strategy. So the problem as we see it is that TNT Sports doesn't currently have a lot of big name sports content. It does have some March Madness games, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League deals, some NASCAR, Big 12, and Mountain West games, and the French Open, but nothing really major, even though it pains me to say that as, a Big 12 conference team fan. It's just reality. And then on top of TNT Sports, Discovery Global plans to relaunch Discovery Plus, and it's looking at growing its digital arm of CNN. So it's clear that Discovery Global is looking to try and fire on all cylinders once it's out on its own sometime Q2 of next year. And while it's good for them, that's probably going to make things more difficult for streamers. It'll mean more apps for sports and likely more cost. And it's interesting that at the launch of all the parts of Venue Sports will be available just individually. And it's also interesting to me that this experiment in combining everything into one platform and calling it HBO Max is now unraveling. And it feels like they are pulling the news off, pulling the sports off. Are they going to pull the Discovery content out too? It would make sense to me that they would do that if they're trying to relaunch Discovery Plus on its own. But then if they're going to bundle it with sports in there, that makes no sense. So I don't know where they think they're going to put this TNT.
Well, I think it would, from the reporting, it would be a separate app.
Okay, yeah, because they don't make any sense together.
Yeah, no, it would be a separate app that they say they would be open to bundling with other platforms. It would be safe to assume that Bleacher Report Sports Add-on would come off of HBO Max. I can't remember if you mentioned that.
We did.
And,
yeah.
Okay, and so and it's just going to make things more difficult for sports fans because it's just creating one more app that we don't know pricing on yet. Wiedenfels just said that they are looking at that. To Mandy's question of will it include the TNT channel or just sports, he didn't indicate anything of that nature, and it's just the first official confirmation that they are looking at that. So it's just
confused too.
Yes, yeah, and it's just going to be more confusing for people. And then,
and I just really how many people are going to be willing to pay whatever they're going to want? I mean, it's got to be somewhere around $8 to $10 for these.
Good luck. Yeah, I bet it'll be at least 15.
Well,
that's pure speculation.
Yeah,
pure
but even then,
speculation.
who's going to pay that? And then,
and they don't have a ton.
There will be some
of
people, but will it be enough to make that profitable?
They don't have a ton of marquee sports, unless he was really being coy and not revealing his cards of we're planning on going after something major.
Meanwhile, we watched the opening of the NFL season last night, Cowboys-Eagles game on Peacock, and I noticed they were heavily promoting that the NBA is back on NBC.
Of course. Yeah,
so just thinking that TNT had that and it's gone, it's just, I don't think things look good. It's my opinion. We'll see.
Yeah. And a few good questions. Great point, Joseph, about like for example, if you have an Amex card, there are offers for different streaming services. Something we always recommend to people if they have a credit card, and to check out those offers, even if it's only for like a month, to get a discount. Let's see here, and then not a fan of Fox News, but love their sports networks. Is Fox one of the cheapest way to get Big Ten Network? Yes, it is. Unless you want something beyond that, then Sling would be the next best option. I would agree that WBD doesn't seem to know what they're doing. So it'll be telling to see how things work out for them, really starting with Q2 of next year, and if they're able to stay afloat, or if they partner with someone. For sure.
Yep, we'll keep watching. We'll keep talking about it. Well, we are past our 30 minutes, so thank you all for hanging around with us, and we will plan to be back with y'all next Friday.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great weekend. Yes, no spitting.